What is Fiedler's contingency model? Well, this is a model related to contextual leadership. That is, it looks at situational variables and how they interrelate with leadership practice. Now, there are two different styles of leadership under this model. One is task-oriented type leadership. That is, the leader is focused on task completion, and the other is the human relations-oriented style. And this is more of an interpersonal relationship focus of the leader rather than simply task completion. Now, the effectiveness of either style is generally determined by situational variables. And this is the uniqueness of Fiedler's contingency model and how it interrelates these situational variables with leadership practice. It says that either style can be effective based upon the presence of situational variables. Now, the model begins with asking questions or identifying responses based upon the individuals who are subordinate to the leader. That is, they rank what they prefer in a coworker, particularly a leader, on a 1 to 8 ranking. Things such as pleasant, unpleasant, friendly, unfriendly, distant, close, cold, warm, backbiting, loyal, untrustworthy, trustworthy, that type of thing. So it's a sliding scale of 1 to 8, and each one is assessed. A low score tends to mean task orientation. A high score tends to mean human relations orientation. And given the situation, there are 3 primary situational variables that affect or cause the effectiveness or alter the effectiveness of either the task-oriented or the human relations-oriented style. One is the leader's position of power in the organization. We've seen that the higher the power structure, the higher the leader's position, the more influence that has over the subordinate with regard to the effectiveness of the leader's style. So in a way, it dilutes to an extent how much a human relations focus versus a task-oriented focus changes with regard to how much it affects the subordinate. Next is task structure. The greater the structure associated with a task, that is, the parameters, the timeline, the means or manner of carrying it out, the greater degree of specificity in this, the more control there is over the individual. So this, once again, can affect the extent to which it matters, whether you're human relations style or whether you're task-oriented style. And then lastly, leader-member relations. The interpersonal relationship between the subordinate and the leader obviously affects the degree or extent to which task-oriented versus human relations-oriented is more effective. And it can actually go both ways in this scenario. A human relations-oriented leader can be more effective if there is a close personal relationship, or vice versa, depending on the nature of the situation at hand. But in summary, this is the contingency model of leadership, and because it integrates all of these situational variables and compares that to or matches that with a leadership style, it is an effective model for assessing leadership effectiveness in a contextual environment as part of organizational behavior and management.